tongue is up. So it's expressed in this motion. Transitions through the socket. You can do this with your hips as well, but it transitions through the socket. And then it has multiple possible failure points, but it should eventually never dislocate. So you want to rotate it all the way around when you're working these out. So you get all the way into your rotator cuff. But basically it's, you know, if you're teaching yourself Kung Fu, you're doing wax on, wax off with the weak part of your body. And then, you know, how that works in a fight is really fantastic. So first you turn your shoulders into butter, and then you can do some really cool things with it. And Wu meditation is basically how you get there. This is Tong Sao with Charles Kindle. You can see the difference between my left and my right is quite different. This one's pulling with a lot more intention. This one just dropped down, no problem. So it's mostly stenosis here. So you use pung, separate your vertebrae. And bring it up. You'll hear clicking, clacking, you know, but you want it to realign. Don't forget to go through expressions on your face. That some of the muscles get tied up in certain expressions. And you don't want to ever have to express something that you can't. So you're gonna think about being drawn and quartered. You want to be pulled out. Right, that's the Tai Chi. Oh, so that's not a thing anymore. You can't move my shoulder in a place where I'm going to go, ow. There's no such thing. That's Tong Ji, right? Putting yourself in those locks and really working them out. Figuring out which chi line is having the problem, which causes obvious other problems in your body. But the true line of Tong Sao, you got to start with your feet. The same idea, but that's the secret you're not allowed to know. So remember that. Work on your toes. Kung Fu in your foot first before you even do Kung Fu anywhere else. Right? And then this posture here is going to develop all of your all of your neck muscles here, all of this down here. We're going to turn you into a crane. And it's the most devastating art in history. Negon, Tai Chi ruler, Okinawate. True karate. Now, let's talk, while I'm talking about this, I'm going to do my thing anyway. So just to give you an idea, and then you can just listen to my bullshit. We're going to talk about healing and martial arts and pretty much everything. Leave comments. We'll talk about what you want to talk about. If you need to know about healing, it's simple. It's binding. You just need to get pressure in there, and whatever it is will be healed. If it's a hole, you close it up, right? Patch kit. The body fixes itself. Um, when it gets to more complicated things, surgical science is all right, but usually it's too late. If you're using a surgeon, you're too late. So get your body moving in pung, and once you really, 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 really understand what pung is, and you have it explained to you, some people need to feel it because you can't see it on camera. It's not something you can see, it's something you have to feel. But let me give it to you in simple terms. Pung is something you do naturally. It is your very heartbeat. It is your natural reflex reactions, and you train it to fight. And so, if you have any skill in fighting, you want to use this to multiply your skill. First, you make your body song, clear out all of your chi channels, and that's what we're doing here. So I'm still doing it until it's gone. You do the internal work until there's no more internal work to do. Okay. So what was I gonna talk about here? Let's see. Stillness is really the practice of martial arts. If you think of Bushido, Bu and Wu Dao and Wu Shu and Wu Sha, Wu Dang, all of those terms, these are all meant to be seated meditations, but it got changed. And there were two aspects of these meditations in Chan, Zen Buddhism. I'm not in Buddhism, but just Zen, because there's different forms of Zen. So it's a big world. But the basic function of Zen is in internal pressing. And you could think of that as on, but that's on yourself. On. Pressing internally on yourself. And you can do this in your elbow, right? Some people could say gripping. But that's the opposite of pung, grip, right? That's the Ji in Tai Chi, Ji. So you want to be able to hold that Ji squeeze as you move. And sometimes the body, you can see how my arm begins to shake right there. It's not going to let me because of weaknesses here. I've never held the tree branch here. So think of this as the tree branch form, even. It's a thing that you'll do forever. As a monkey, you want to be able to grab every tree branch and not be hindered inside of your body where pain might occur. So it's positioning yourself in Wu meditation for each one of these, meaning Wu meaning I'm here for fun and I'm also here for war. So yin and yang, empty and full, and that's Ji. So you want to be able to squeeze and relax here without a twitch like that. See that? My arm twitches. But you want to be able to do that without that twitch. And so you can see there's weaknesses that I have to work on. And the way I can expose those is really pushing that posture in different ways, like wrestle with my shoulder here. Ooh, make sure I can go all the way around, way over here. And usually over time, the body and gravity affects the body to separate. And so Tai Chi is like bringing your body and all of its holes and becoming one thing again. So Peng is the outward expansion, like you're breathing in. You can see my lungs go up, my chest rises. You could do it in your stomach. It's where you relax and hold tension. It's kind of like that. And so where you relax and hold tension is really interesting when it comes to fighting context, because it's not until you put your hands on somebody that they become intimidating. And this is like a Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson lesson. Everybody thought Mike Tyson was just going to destroy Lennox Lewis, but Lennox Lewis is just a better fighter than Mike Tyson. And so he got really schooled. So be careful what you think you see, because it's not in what you see. Like my body type is not something that most people go, I definitely could take that guy in a fight. I mean, if you saw me, you'd be like, well, no, I could beat that guy up. He's just nothing. And then they touch me and all things change, because decades of practice always trump fitness or health. Health is not the key element in combat. It is a very important element of combat, but it does not make you better. It can really propel your fighting logic and knowledge of how to fight. And if you do use the higher system to fight Tai Chi, the empty system, Yong, then you will do the true intent of karate, which the true intention of karate is to bring the law, the Kempo, the law of the Ji into reality. And so it can formally look, like this, or it can look like this, but it doesn't have to. It can look like this. Nimpo, the art of hiding your technique. So now you want to think about, there is no technique. Technique, no. There's only Ji or Yong. You think about it. These two guys in our system are your snakes, right? You need to think of them as snakes. So at first, you learn techniques in functional, process, dynamic, simple. And then you learn, no, it's not simple. It's, whoa, where do you hold your balance? Where are your feet? And why aren't your toes relaxed? Why can't you be here? Why can't you be here, here, or here? Why can't you? And so it becomes a lesson of failure over failure over failure. I'm doing the drum technique, if you haven't seen this. So I want to start with my feet, right? I'm not doing this in my hips. We don't do, karate is done in the hip. That's for stupid people, right? Boxing is done with the shoulder, right? Jiu-jitsu is done with the shoulder. So if a boxer learns jiu-jitsu, he'll be horribly terrible at boxing. Here's ripping the, what do they call this move? Umaplata? No, Kimura. Americana, one of these. Anyway, tearing the rotator cuff this way, you're throwing a ball. So I'm going to pull my hand in a twisted motion this way, and the pinky is really the sensor here. So it should connect all the way from the pinky, and then you need to be able to go like that. You need to be able to fight from that. Oh, tap out, I tap out. No, there's no, I don't tap. There's no places I tap. I might make it look like I'm tapping. Oh, you got me here. No, but there's nothing. So you end up wrestling your shoulders away. That's the white crane, Fujian white crane, or Fujian, or the more closely Shaolin related. So most of Shaolin was standing still. There was not a lot of jumping around in Shaolin tradition. Modern wushu is not Shaolin. So all of the, the fake, whatever they're doing, that's wushu. That's not original kung fu, and it's not Shaolin. So first of all, Shaolin's first training is standing still, and normally you would do it at first maybe hands to your side, or hands inner, kind of pointed inward, or maybe it would just be on your belly button, or right in front of your groin if you have tradition. And then it might be kneeling, and that would be cross-footed. So when the Medici of China would kneel down, they cross their feet to K1 on K1, if you know that reference, to put pressure on their kidneys. And then the trick is to be able to sit in that posture, kneeling down on your feet crossed on your butt. So you're sitting on your feet and they're crossed underneath you. So most of the pain at first is on your tibia and your knee, and you start to build up thickness in the things that you push against the ground and squeeze, and what pung does is it fills up what you push down. So if you have any weak areas on your body, you want to start gently pushing on them, and eventually they'll heal magically. With the hand, same thing. You want to be able to wrestle with your hand all the way to where it's like, well, I'll just go this way if you do that to me. And but you want to get the weaknesses out of your hands too. But since you know how to do that, that's a natural thing. You just need to spread that virus to the body, and then it's Tai Chi. So you want to do that with your arm, like not just, but So then it's one big giant oval here. And just begin to open up these, like you're a monkey waking up and your muscles are tied up for some reason. Yeah, you can just untie them, human. Didn't you know that? So, you can be your own chiropractor. It's okay. Shh, the doctor said so. Anybody who tells you shouldn't do this is an idiot, because it's an art form. Okay, so here I am in my neck here. Oh, got that one. Oh, I hope you could hear that. Rewind that. That was awesome. Oh, I'll be feeling that till Tuesday. And then you open yourself up with pung. Just like that. I would call this the frog, the amphibian, or maybe even the fish because you're learning to do things that you haven't even thought of with your body, and switching between pung and right inside. So big, open, push out, and squeeze all the way in, but I'm only up here. I'm not really doing that down anywhere else. I'm just doing it in my upper chest. And then, of course, hot water, jacuzzis. Jets are just an expensive excuse for not, doing the work yourself. So get in there, massage yourself. Dr. Rule Danielson. Right? Make sure none of that hurts. Like when I go to, I've never felt that. Ooh. You don't want to be doing that. You want to, I've felt that before. You want to hit me harder. Harder than that. Right? So you know what pain feels like. You can't just fake it. You have to discipline, practice it. Martial art is a discipline of practice. Oh, over and over again. But you're always doing something. So incorporate gong into the motion, and you don't have to do so many of them. You can just do the one up here, and it fills up a bunch of them all the way down here. The trick. So do this standing posture for a really long time. And eventually all the pain in your neck, if you have pain in your neck, will go away. All the pain in your back will go away. All the pain in your spine will be gone. And don't forget, I'm the doctor. Tell your friends.